son raps. His name is Tarantino.
Wait, what?
My son, right?
What's his name?
He raps under Tarantino. His real name is Elijah Irvin.
Okay.
But listen, get this out. I swear, if you go on iTunes and listen to him, he raps about some of the hardest stuff in the world. And I say to him, son, you grew up in a 20,000 square foot gated community home.
Gangsta rappers will have their credibility questioned by rival rappers, street figures, and even online bloggers. But sometimes the person trying to expose them is their own mother and father.
Hobo in that fair cartel is a fake. He ain't never been shot. He shot himself in the mother leg. He ain't no gangster. He can't fight. If you kick the left leg, you gonna get him because he got a hole in that mother.
This woman is the mother of Houston rapper Cartel Bo, and through trying to expose her son, she also ended up exposing herself. Cartel Bo is an upcoming rapper in Houston and did time in prison for possession of firearms. So nobody ever questioned the legitimacy of any of his lyrics until March of 2026, when a now infamous documentary was filmed about the neighborhood he grew up in.
Cartel Bo's done RICO time in the federal penitentiary, and he's a hood legend who's well respected in Houston. He takes us through his block that locals call Murderwood, and he shows us what life is like there.
And throughout this film, Cartel Bo was very unapologetic about the lifestyle he supposedly leads.
Because Lakewood is like, we play a cool for real, but we definitely gangsters for real. Like, it's the most dangerous hood in the city of Houston, man.
This is?
Yeah, you ain't coming out. Don't come over here. We go everywhere. They ain't come up. They don't come over here.
However, many people took issue with Lakewood's apparent nickname, Murderwood. On Facebook, the Union for the Houston Police Department wrote, "Hey, Tommy G," in reference to the YouTuber that filmed the video. No one in Houston calls Lakewood by the name of Murderwood. We'll watch the video and fact check the rest of it for you. The police also shared the screenshot of several people discussing whether anyone had ever referred to Lakewood as Murderwood. The police also wrote, "The last time Warren Brown made a video with this many views, he and all his friends went to the federal pen." The reason why Cartel Bo served time in jail was for brandishing weapons when shooting the music video for his song Hoova at a school. And throughout this comment section, this Houston police Facebook page mercilessly trolled Cartel Bo. They tagged the Houston crime page, Grizzy's Hood News, and wrote, "We need some community notes from Grizzy's Hood News peeps." Grizzy's Hood News responded with, "I plead the fifth," to which the Houston Police Department responded, "That's how you're supposed to speak to someone making a documentary about your hood. Hashtag self-snitching." The police took further issue with this part of the documentary.
How long did you live in this area for?
My whole life.
Which they responded with, "Go find an arrest record with a Lakewood address in the last decade. We'll wait." They also shared this image from 2025 of Cartel Bo being arrested in a suburban area of Houston where he supposedly lives. Another part of the video the police took issue with was this comment about a recent murder.
Right around the corner on the way down here, that freeway you exited, that's where that body was hanging with the body on fire.
And the Houston Police Union responded, "The body was found right around the corner, 2.5 miles away in a different neighborhood." And Grizzly Hood News replied to it with, "Yes, and it wasn't street beef. It was homeless people." The final inaccuracy they found was this section.
Past 3 weeks, the sheriff's office has not immediately booked some probation violators into the jail.
Here, the documentary used news footage that came from Houston County in Georgia instead of Houston City in Texas. To make matters worse, the police officers union shared another screenshot and captioned it with, "The prosecution rests, Your Honor." This was a post from Cartel Bo's mother, which read, "As his mom let life hit him. All the lies he told on me, the family can't stand him. He hasn't seen his grandma who raised him for almost a year. SMH, embarrassing. I'm from Lakewood. He's not. And it's not bad. No such thing as Murderwood." But there is actually a lot more to the story than meets the eye. Cartel Bo soon did an interview for Fox 26 Houston and gave his side of the story. First of all, he claimed that his original arrest in 2018 was a setup. In Texas, you are allowed to carry a weapon, but not in public buildings like schools. However, this was an abandoned school.
They tried to pretty much slander and destroy our names with false information by saying and telling the news, which are public news reports, that we were at a school and the school was open and children was leaving the school.
And that's back in 2018.
Yes,
yeah.
That came out in federal court to be a lie. Mm-hmm. That was a lie, and HPD didn't have anybody to go to the courtroom to make an excuse to explain those lies. That school was shut down for Hurricane Harvey. And the part of the reason that we wanted to use a destroyed school is because it's the look of a destroyed school and a destroyed park. We haven't gone to that park all our lives. I'm not saying that this is right or this is wrong, whether this is that, because those kids that were there was kids of the people who were there that wanted to meet me. But we don't get that type of aggression when you go to these Trump rallies, these MAGA rallies, and all these Proud Boys walking around with this, that, and other. We particularly went down for felon in possession of a firearm and nothing else. We didn't commit any crimes, we didn't hurt anybody, but it is what it is. We took our punishment to the chin. I got the most time, I took responsibility, this, that, and other, because it was time handed out.
As well as being a famous rapper, what makes Cartel Bo so respected in Houston is the work he does in the community.
Not only that, I provide jobs for multiple staff members. I have a trucking company that I created, and specifically to hire felons to fight recidivism. I've went international with that, over 20 million views, over 70,000 comments on Facebook and Instagram. So people know me as the guy who gives the felons a second chance, you know what I'm saying? I provide haircuts for single mothers with little boys, free haircuts. I provide that at my recording studio. It's also at that same recording studio, I also give the youth and kids of the age of 18 free studio time to help give back, you know what I'm saying? I've been with Rap A Lot and the J Prince family, giving away baby milk, giving away food, giving away clothes, and all kind of other things. So since I changed my life and I got a recording deal and I've been rapping and entertaining, I've been acting, I've been doing all this other stuff, I don't live that life no more. But there are particular individuals, you know what I'm saying, that I must say, you know, that I feel like are racist and that are harassing me because I wasn't the percent of those that they tried to banish and destroy forever.
However, when it came to addressing the inaccuracies in the documentary, he said the following.
So, Tommy G is a well-known person who goes and does documentaries of hoods. I'm not actively in the hood, this, that, and other one. I don't care, but he wanted to go to my hood. Everybody know my hood. I'm famous for my hood, this, that, and other. So I go over there, take him over here, and I take him something. He's like, man, what's this, that, and other? Is this like this? Is this like this? I'm like, okay. Well, this happened right here off of Wayside by 16. You know, this is my side of town. This, that, and other. This happened over here at the blue store that we at right now. This happened over here, and taking them and
like a tour.
Yeah, I'm showing them the cases literally. Taking, well, this is the stuff that be going on over here where I'm from. This, that, and other. You understand what I'm saying? When I was over here, we used to call it Murderwood. We was kids. That was like every hood that's supposed to be woo, they always have a nickname to try to make their hood seem, and that's common consensus.
And you're saying, but, like, as kids, they make up nicknames, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's the reality.
Man, yeah, but at the end of the day, I am an entertainer, so I am for doing whatever I'm doing as an entertainer. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to go there, you feel me? But I'm taking them to real situations, showing them what's really going on. I'm not on there saying I did it. I'm not on there saying I'm the roughest, toughest, baddest man in town.
And there's a moment where Cartel Bo explains that this feud is about far more than the documentary. Despite serving his time, the police have been trying to sabotage his career.
I've been on the Texas tour, right? So we go to Waco. The Houston Police Department called Waco and told Waco that you got a violent gang member that's coming down there trying to do a show. There's going to be violence and there's going to be y'all need to watch out for them. When we got there, they had the place surrounded before anybody even got there. When we got there, they told us, hey, we had a call, we got a heads up that we had a guy, violent gang member on the way to our town. This show needs to eat early. What's going on? They walked through the whole venue the entire time trying to make people leave. They forced half the crowd to leave, you know what I'm saying, just being petty because people didn't want to be around all that extra police activity. Cool. The other cities didn't pay that much attention, but I had a show in Lubbock. They had the police there now. Lubbock also told us that the Houston Police Department called and tipped them off, and they told them that we had gotten into a fight and had a shot at Austin. I've never had any violence. I never had any fights.
Okay. We're going to take a quick break here and come back.
The Houston Police Union responded, "We all must have misunderstood the original Murderwood video on YouTube. We perceived everything was being presented as factual. Now it's clear it was just for entertainment and not actually a real thing." They also pushed back pretty strongly against claims that they were canceling his shows. A statement read, "Cartel Bo had been telling people that Houston police are calling venues and trying to get his shows canceled. That is 100% false. We're not attacking him. We are questioning his credibility for calling Lakewood Murderwood. No one calls it that. There have been 2 murders in the area. He is on probation with 4 domestic violence cases." But the situation with his mom is where things really get interesting. Long before the documentary was released, there was a very public back and forth between Cartel Bo and his mother and how he wasn't financially supporting her.
I'm Natalie Stewart, Cartel Bo mama. This don't do for me, and I don't give a He don't do for my mother mama, who he say raised him. I raised that mother. I'm I'm the one kept jobs. I'm the one kept them in court. Then you want to sit up and talk about all these that this woman, but this pregnant with his twins right now. This come visit my house yesterday. I ain't changed that baby. I ain't touched that baby milk. While I'm gone, though, he steals my mother TV off my mother wall. He stole my goddamn TV. Hobo NFL Cartel is a fake. He ain't never been shot. He shot himself in the mother leg. He ain't no gangster.
And when these accusations were put to Cartel Bo, the interviewer was taken aback by his response.
You had a similar situation where, you know, your mom came on the internet and just started, you know, bashing you, essentially saying that you weren't doing much for her, and you came back.
Yeah, I ain't doing shit for her. Yeah, I ain't doing a thing for her. What you saying? Boy, you know how I went through with that bitch? You know, I don't have, like, you gotta understand, I don't have, just cause you and your mama got a relationship, you don't know my, you know what I'm saying?
Then Cartel Bo gave a rather disturbing account of his own childhood.
When I was born, when I was 1 year old, I'm gonna give you a rundown. When I was 1 year old, right? She was still in high school, you feel me? So she had me, she was drunk, pulled up in a red drop-top convertible. My cousin Jay-Ton and my granny in the yard, drunk in the bitch. I'm in the back in the car seat. Jay-Ton snatched the car seat out while she bag got skirt and this, that, and the other, and get on down the freeway. They say my mama didn't see me again until I was 2, right? So when she did see me, granny had been taking care of me, granny had been doing that, but she was pregnant with my sister. So it was just so much shit, like, gang, I've been with granny my whole life. You hear me? So I did to my pre-K, granny, kindergarten, granny, first grade, granny house. I ain't talking about granny with her, well, she was wherever the fuck she was at. 7th grade, they sent me over there to try to stay for a little bit. Came back in 3 months. Tony started, you know what I'm saying, with my ass. 3rd grade, went out there about 3-4 months. Came back before the Christmas break, you know what I'm saying. Her husband putting his hands on me. Granny don't like this shit. Bring my baby back over here. 5th grade, same thing. But by the time the 5th grade did, she actually did something about it. Like, you keep putting your hands on my child, baby, because the nigga had beat me to a bloody pulp in real life. That's not, like, China, you gotta understand this lady, you don't understand, like,
as a 5th grader?
As a 5th grader. No, that happened in the 4th grade. I was going to Bush Elementary, so I was on punishment, wasn't supposed to be watching TV. You know what I'm saying? Nigga came in the house. My sister told on me just whoop, whoop, whoop. And they tied me up with them orange stitcher cards and beat the shit out of me with the black ones until I started bleeding. No, he tied me up with the black ones, beat the shit out of me with the orange stitcher cards, the garage ones, until I was just blood everywhere.
So Cartel Bo seems to have exaggerated and, fictionalized certain elements, but definitely had a very difficult upbringing. Our next rapper, however, is an example of a clear-cut fraud. Tarantino was very much part of the drill scene in the late 2010s. In the song Back Then, he talks about freeing his homies down in the county.
Free my niggas sitting down in that county.
I used to get rich off of busting them drugs.
I used to get rich off of busting them drugs.
And riding in the hood with that K.
Sitting I was right around the hood with the K.
His music gave the impression that he had gone through a lot and triumphed over adversity, got it out the hood. The reality could not be more different.
My son raps. His name is Tarantino.
Wait, what?
My son, right?
What's his name?
He raps under Tarantino. His real name is Elijah Irvin.
Okay.
But listen, get this out. I swear, if you go on iTunes and listen to him, he raps about some of the hardest stuff in the world. And I say to him, son, you grew up in a 20,000 square foot gated community home.
Tarantino is the son of NFL legend Michael Irvin, who has mixed feelings about his son pursuing a career which involves lying about the amazing upbringing he gave him.
Your son is using your childhood to rap about.
Oh my God, right. I worked hard to get you out of this, and you rapping right back to it. What is going on? It blows my mind, man. I'm telling you, if you listen, you'll be like,
you can't rap about a private education.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
I'm sorry.
Private schools, his whole life. His whole life.
You grew up in a family of 17 kids in 2 bedrooms.
Right. And he rapping about my days. Right. That's what trips me out. And the guy just tells me, And Michael, this is how young kids express themselves. You just got to let them go through this and everything. I'm like, well is this any reflection on my parenting?
But what's mom think about this?
Well, for a long time, he wouldn't let mom hear his music. You know, she don't want to hear Dad. Don't let her hear it. And I couldn't hear it for a while. And then I finally heard it because he started getting out on iTunes. He had a couple albums out. Then I was like, oh, man. I'm like, man, I mean, you sat next to me every Sunday in church. Did any of that get to you? Did you hear any of that? It's just funny stuff, man.
However, Irvin did not leave things there. 4 years later, he went on another unprompted rant about his son's rap career.
I want to go with guys and you're tearing up careers. I mean, we got to be good enough in the neighborhood to know when God has touched somebody with that gift that time is talking about, and be good enough to say, hey, man, you shouldn't be around here. You shouldn't be doing things. You got a chance to do it the right way and change a lot of lives and help out our people. And we got to be strong enough to do that.
After this interview, Van Lathan tried to get his son on his podcast and tweeted, "So I reached out to Michael Irvin's son, Tut Tarantino, to do higher learning. He told me he was free in about 45 days. He's in a Texas prison. Looks like it's a multi-use facility for substance abuse, but definitely a prison." And whether Michael Irvin meant it or not, he gave his son's rap career an unexpected boost.
Michael Irvin did what no PR could do. He got Tut Tarantino played on the radio.
He did.
We would not even know who Tut Tarantino is or his music if Michael Irvin did not get on television
great marketing.
and say that. So grand opening. But
also
grand
closing.
closing. Okay, grand closing. Because I respect what Michael Irvin did. If more parents did that, it would be more fraudulent rappers shutting the hell up and sitting down. Because the problem historically with fraudulent rappers is that the only people calling them out was other rappers. We need the parents to call their lying kids out.
However, when Michael Irvin appeared on It Is What It Is, Cameron called him out for hating on his son.
Before we get into sports, because we got to get into sports, I have one problem though, Mike. Why are you hating on Tut Tarantino's career, man? What's the problem? That's just so much.
I'm so glad you brought that up.
Yeah, why you hating on it?
Everybody went out saying Michael Irvin calls his son a liar. I said, wait a minute, stop. I'm not calling my son a liar. I'm saying we romanticize and fantasize thug life, and he was rapping about the same things, thug life. He's not out here killing people, I hope. I surely hope. I hope he's not shooting people. You know what I mean? But I will say this, that no one knew. And I said that passionately at the time. My son was locked up on a conceal charge at the time. You see,
right. At
that time, he was locked up. And that's why I probably said it with a little bit too much passion, and all of a sudden everybody took, I'm calling him a liar. So that's where all of that went.
Tut Tarantino has publicly responded to these comments and took issue with the claim that his home was 20,000 square feet.
Like he said I grew up in a 20,000 square foot, and it's not that big. I ain't gonna lie to you. It ain't 20,000.
Yeah.
He gassed the
15?
fuck out of that. Not even 15.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It don't even matter, but you know what I'm saying? He was exactly, you know what I'm saying? He a personality, an entertainer, bro.
Right.
Y'all, like, man, come on, man.
And this comment only made things worse.
I don't give a if it was 1 square feet. Nah, bro. Not like that, bro. Not like that. I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to get the bear off your back, but you're trying to discredit what your father said. Bro, stop it, bro. Stop it. Live in your truth.
Yeah.
Rap about your truth. Don't rap about what the trend is. Don't talk about a dress like what the trend is. Live in your truth.
And while it is easy to make fun of Tut Tarantino, Joe Budden, who exaggerated his life in his early music, felt that he should still be allowed to rap about these things too.
That was my right. To it.
That's my right.
True.
That's my artistic freedom of speech right. True. To lie in my music.
True.
As a way to create not only an alter identity for myself, but create the path for myself that I want to make.
True.
He should be able to do those things without his famous, one of the best wide receiver ever had dad blowing up the spot.
There are countless rappers who've embellished their backgrounds when pursuing their career. Some exaggerated a little bit, but for the most part, most of them weren't as high and mighty as having somebody who is their father being one of the most successful professional athletes in American history. Our next example is arguably one of the greatest New York rappers of all time. In 2022, Jadakiss appeared on the Joe Budden podcast with his father, who revealed a little too much about his past.
Since he became a father, he just came to appreciate growing up in a two-parent household. Actually, it was a label that he didn't really want to talk about because it wasn't street. And he didn't tell you he went to private school, and we had
that wasn't.
And this news for some people cast a shadow over his music.
And it shocked me. Here it is, this guy talking about cutting up bricks and all the rest of that stuff throughout all the years. Ever since I heard from the Locks and Jadakiss, the first time I heard from them which was the early 90s off of, I think it was DJ Clue Desert Storm mixtape or something like that. They've always been talking about the streets. So you've been lying for the last 30 years, my man? And that's crazy to me.
But if you have a deeper knowledge of Jadakiss's music, you'll know that he sometimes references his education and family in the music. That being said, the majority of his lyrics portray himself as a gangster.
You know, I know some of you all are going to use the cop out. Well, you know, Jadakiss, he did mention in one of his lyrics that, you know, he had two-parent household and he went to such. Yeah, once or twice probably. How many times has he rapped about coke? Straight up. That's real talk. How many times has he rapped about crack and selling crack in the streets and shit like that?
However, many people have given further context to the situation and what private school means in New York.
You have to understand something about New York culture. A lot of people go to private school in New York, all right? My cousin went to private school, but he was in and out of jail. He did a lot of street. Okay, that don't mean nothing when you're in the streets. The streets don't care if you went to a super private school, okay? They don't care if you Muslim, they don't care anything. The minute you leave that school and you on a block and you exposed to the elements that's on the streets, that's it, okay? I had run-ins with dudes that was from private school. Dudes from private school jump people, all right? Some of the most biggest notorious gangsters from New York went to private school, all right? Private school in New York is just same thing as public school. Only difference is you just wear a uniform.
And if Jadakiss was completely lying about his lifestyle, this would have been found out a lot earlier.
If Jadakiss was so flawed, this shit would have been out. Like, this would have been exposed. Beanie Siegel, when they were beefing with Jada and all of that, they would have been had information like that and used it against them. 50 Cent would have got the information, used it against them. It ain't that. Now, we can't say, now what we can say is Jadakiss ain't no Soldier Slim, King Von, Bloodhound Lil Jeff, just a step up like, I crush him shit. Like, he not that, but he don't put out that type of music. Jadakiss never put out the type of music that it may lead to somebody hustling, but he never really put out no stepping, like I'm gonna crush you, like I'm a cold-blooded monster. He don't put out that type of music. He tells stories and stuff like that. How it is in the hood, how it is hustling, trusting dudes, going to the feds, getting snitched on, stuff like that, hood tales.
And Jadakiss has responded to the pushback he's received from this news, particularly coming from a two-parent home.
Yeah, we had both of our parents. Do that mean we wasn't in the street? No. Do that mean our household, we had gold spoons? No. My mom's she bust that. My pops was on drugs. He was able to shake back. I was outside doing shit. I was smart in school. I was athletic, and I was outside. Just ask the people. Just ask the cops. Just ask anybody you want to ask. For some reason, these people you can't be standing up to your word if you have both of your parents. Are you some type of asshole? It's a blessing to have both of your parents if you can have both of your parents.
There's ultimately no shortage of rappers who have exaggerated or embellished parts of their past, and many new rappers that have come from very, very privileged upbringings, such as an Alabama Barker, who has been trying to get into the rap game for quite a while. Hip-hop is, or should be, or has been, all about authenticity, if you ask a lot of people, but also about expression and creativity. And whether someone is deemed real or fake doesn't matter as much as it once did, especially if they're able to pull a rabbit out of a hat and deliver a hit song. But unfortunately, we haven't seen that from many of the candidates for at least street rap with a privileged background that have tried to come up in the past years.